What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex. You're watching a Ragin Ronin review. Last night I watched a celebrity sex tape and I'm gonna review it for you. I'm just kidding. Last night I watched a film called Sex Tape and it's directed by Jake Kasdan and stars Jason Segel and Cameron Diaz. And before I begin this review, I just want to thank Tim for hooking me up with the advanced screening tickets. Thanks a lot, Tim. I really appreciate it. This review is dedicated to you. Anyways, Sex Tape, that is the movie I'm reviewing. It is a raunch comedy and it is a film which reunites Jake Kasdan, Jason Segel, and Cameron Diaz together because they've worked together on a film, another raunch comedy rather, called Bad Teacher. Now the screenplay for Sex Tape is written by Kate Angelo, Jason Segel, and Nicholas Stoller, with the latter two working together, or rather have worked together, on Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which was a great film. I really enjoyed that film. Now this is a raunch comedy, as the title suggests, and you already know where this is going. Couple makes a video of them getting it on, and they think everything's okay. But if everything was okay, then we wouldn't have a movie to watch and there wouldn't be a raunchy comedy. So what happens, as we all know, the video gets out there. But it doesn't go really far. It really just gets synced up with 6 iPads that he was given away as party gifts. So they find out that the video is out on these iPads, so they have to get it back. Right? This is where all the comedy comes in. And of course, when they make their video, their little production, okay? And, you know, all that stuff is really funny because it's about an adventure. It's about a journey. It's about a journey where they have to get all these iPads back in the most discreet way. And it for the most part, is really funny. There's a lot of really comedic exchanges of dialogue. And there's also a lot of sight gags. What I mean by that is there's a lot of physical humor. It's not always just raunchy dialogue. It's actually a lot of physical humor that that drives the movie forward, actually. And you know what? I gotta say that for the most part, it was funny and it was entertaining. But what we're watching in this movie is not a whole lot different from a lot of other films that we've seen. Whether it's a teen sex comedy or a gross-out comedy or a raunch comedy like this, these films all have a very common theme, and that is about relationships. Friendships, or rather friendships that have been lost, or relationships that have been lost but that need to be reconnected, and it's all done through this journey. And that is the underlying theme about a film like this. It's about a human connection, and the human connection story or theme needs to be there for us as the audience to connect with it all. It doesn't matter what kind of raunch comedy it is or sex comedy it is. It always is about relationships. And in this case, we have this couple, Annie and Jay, who you know, they're losing the flame in their relationship. So they decide to spice things up and really put that flame back on in full ignition by filming themselves getting it on. And this you know, this turns out to be a nightmare when the video gets out. But you know what? During this journey, it brings them close together, and that's what it's about. That's what this movie's really all about. Now, I'm not going to tell you about all the crazy things that happen in this movie, but it is funny. However, I feel that the comedy is not strong enough to really make it an outstanding movie. Let's not forget that this is a raunch comedy, and there's only so much. Well, actually, there's a lot you can do, but it doesn't get too creative. Really, it's just a bunch of exchanges of raunchy dialogue, and I feel that the sight gags really overtake the dialogue. You know what I'm saying? And when you have to rely on sight gags all the time, that means that the screenplay just isn't strong enough. And that's really unfortunate. What's also unfortunate is that I really didn't feel the connection, or rather the chemistry. Not so much the connection, but the chemistry between Cameron Diaz, Annie, and Jay, played by Jason Segel. The character of Jay is really the stronger of the two in terms of who is more fun to watch. Because Jason Segel, you know, he is a lot of fun to watch. I've seen him in a lot of movies, or a couple of movies rather. He's great at Forgetting Sarah Marshall. But what's great about him in this movie is that he plays a very different character. He's actually very awkward in this movie, which makes me find it a lot of fun to watch. To watch his character as he does dialogue delivery, as he does his physical comedy. It's really, really fun to watch him because it's very different. Another thing about him is that he actually lost a lot of weight for this character, which actually makes him a whole different character as a whole. So that was great for his character. As for Cameron Diaz, you know, it's nothing new for her. We've seen this type of character before, and therefore I didn't really feel the chemistry between the two. You know what? The comedy itself is somewhat entertaining. The dialogue is somewhat funny, but this is the movie itself is actually pretty shallow. You know, it doesn't try doesn't try very hard to be a great movie. They had potential, and the reason why they had potential to make this a great movie is because they didn't. They really didn't take advantage of the modernization of technology and social media and having a video potentially go viral. You know, there's a lot of aspects where this could just go crazy, just go like 100 times crazier. But they just really kept it at a tame level, and they had to rely on a lot of I guess forced comedy to make this movie work. And at some points it works, and at other points it just feels a little bit forced, and you can totally tell. Okay? Now, there are some really great moments about this movie. For example, there are 2 cameos, which I won't even talk about, but these 2 cameos really steal the show, and every time these 2 cameos are in this movie, it's really funny. I mean, they are just, they're perfect when they're on screen. I'm not even going to tell you who they are. If you watch the trailer, you might already know who they are, but I love the cameos. They were perfect, okay? Yeah, you know what? They're calling this the perfect date movie. I wouldn't take a date to watch this movie. I would take a partner or who you're already in a relationship and then just watch the movie and have a good time. Take someone you're already in a relationship with if they're okay with watching, you know, a raunchy comedy. But don't take a date that you've only just met to watch this movie, okay? This is not a movie that you'd want to watch with a date. But you know what? For the most part, it was entertaining, kind of shallow. Jason Segel was a lot of fun to watch. The cameos were great. There's some physical comedy in there, which is pretty funny, but nothing outstanding. I'm gonna give this as I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. All right. Yeah, there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, @RaginNation. My name's Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. On the other hand, on the movie version, it points upwards, and then it's got some of it sticking downwards. So, you know, there's just little